made us breakfast, and now I'm rolling down to DIA. I hated to leave his welcome table, have a dozen bright souls for starting their day. Greg fixed us eggs, we all drank coffee, and talked about all sorts of different stuff. I did some dishes so I could linger, but there's never time enough. Oh, Google Maps, I thank you kindly for telling me to take Pena Boulevard. Oh, but my heart, it lingers back there in the house with the typewriters and the chickens in the yard. When you write a poem on a typewriter, it's kind of hard not to use parentheses. Get off my ass, tailgating, mister, broke my spell with your SUV. Hold me, touch me, hold me, touch me, feed me. That's what my phone always says, it needs me. But I don't need you, phone. He made us breakfast, and now I'm rolling down to DIA. But there's no sickness, toilet danger in that bright world to which I go. I'm going home to see my mother. I'm going home no more to roam. I'm only going over Jordan, only going over home. I'm only going over Jordan, only going over home.
Hi, I'm Monica Mansfield, and you're watching Mostly Rock and Roll. And we are featuring Peter Mulvey today. Peter, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
He has the flu, and he is still with us, so he's resting.
Sanitize that hand. Sanitize that hand.
No food will go in the mouth until it's washed. But we appreciate your tenacity, and we filmed you today despite you having the flu, and you still came out. You could have had a nap, but you know, we appreciate you soldiering forward.
Glad to be here.
But now you can rest your head.
I always feel better when I'm actually playing music or lying on a yellow couch with the host of Mostly Rock and Roll.
We aim to please.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. Well, you are just coming off of a series of shows that you're in the Boston area, so
yeah.
we got you, we nabbed you. But you played Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 2 shows Saturday, and today is Sunday, so your voice must be in need of rest, but you do just an incredible thing for the community, and thank you for all that you do and for offering your wonderful musical skills to so many listeners, Peter.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's kind of you. Thank you.
But right now you are about to release your newest CD, Are You Listening?
Yes.
So tell us about this. I know that you had just some really tremendous parts that went into this.
Yeah, so the record was made down in New Orleans at Ani DeFranco's home studio. She produced it. She and I have, I guess we've become friends over the past couple of years. I opened a bunch of shows for her, and we kind of got to talking, and you know, we'd been aware of each other for 10 or 20 years, although she kind of moves in a different atmospheric level than I do in the music industry. But we just really hit it off, and so we made the record down in New Orleans, and it was her rhythm section, you know, Todd Sikafus on upright bass and Terrence Higgins on drums, and my pal Anna Tivell flew down as well. And so the band is the four of us, and then Ani did a whole bunch of overdubs afterwards, and it's a really beautiful experience. Are you listening? Are you listening? Are you listening? Are you listening? I got a new life. I got a new life. I'm listening. Are you telling me? Are you telling me? Are you telling me? I think you're telling me you got a new life. You got a new life. I'm listening. All your lonely life, all your lonely life, all your lonely life. Oh. Well, I love you so. Oh, I love you so. I just love you so. Oh, I love you so. You got a new life. You got a new life. And I love you so. Am I listening? Am I listening? Am I listening?
Peter, I am so taken by the idea of what it is that music is doing to us when music has a powerful impact. When you hear a musician yourself or music yourself that completely moves you, you know, it doesn't happen all the time. I think with most music, at least with me, I have to hear it 4 or 5 times, and then I'm like, whoa, what was that? Tell me how that experience is for you.
That is just a big mystery. But I mean, there's no knowing what all that is, you know. Music is just vibration. Music is just the air moving. That's all. It's all you're doing.
How can it do all that to us, though?
Well, to answer that question, we would have to understand what it is to be a conscious creature. And the scientists refer to that as the hard problem with capital letters. Like, we don't understand consciousness at all. It's impenetrable, you know?
So what's the experience like for you when you have just this magical music moment that doesn't happen all the time but hits you at some point? What do you experience?
Well, you know, quite often tears. That's always good. And it's funny because it can be like the most joyful tune in the world. That just tends to be my reaction. I just get kind of verklempt. You know, like the Hot Chocolate tune, I Believe in Miracles? I believe in miracles.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Oh, my God. Like that melody. The first time I heard it, I was like, this man is a genius. Like, and I cried as I imagine a parent would cry, you know, when their kid, like, you know, wins an art contest or something. I was like, I'm so happy that I'm on the planet that this guy came up with that, you know, melody or, you know, whatever. Sometimes it's not tears. I saw Stravinsky's Symphony of Psalms. At the symphony, you know, and like the whole orchestra, like they're seated, or the choir is seated, and then they stand up, and then, like, you know, 49 people begin singing loudly, and it's just overwhelming. It's just, you know, it's an amazing experience, you know. Kevin Kneff of the Chieftains, the drummer in the Chieftains, is an acquaintance of mine. And he used a word. It's really an apt word to talk about what's happening when you listen to music. He said sometimes you can put on, you know, one of the great records like "Blood on the Tracks" by Bob Dylan, and you can be utterly transported. Such a great word, transported. Past tense verb, meaning like you were taken somewhere else, right? That's what it feels like.
Yeah.
Obviously, you were standing in your kitchen the whole time. But the funny thing that he noticed is, like, 2 weeks later, you can put Blood on the Tracks on your turntable and be like, well, that's good.
Exactly. It's like a combination of, like, where you are in the moment and where your emotion is and where,
Yeah.
how tired you are from how much sleep you had the night before.
Right. It's like, I mean, it's like anything, you know. Snow is coming down on the houses by the lakeside. Snow is coming down on the houses by the lakeside. This song could be the last song. Sparrow on a statue in the Place de Lafayette. Sparrow on a statue in the Place de Lafayette. This song could be the last song. Oh, 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 oh. She never felt at home until she looked out on the Mersey. Never felt at home until she stood beside the Mersey. This song There's a candle in the window, but the door is swinging open. A candle in the window, the door is swinging open. This song could be the last song. Oh, 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 oh. Now if I could tell you something, I would tell you something that you never heard before. If I could tell you something, I would tell you something that you never heard before. If I could tell you something, I would tell you something. The stars are shining up from a puddle in the school. schoolyard, a puddle in the schoolyard. This song could be the last song. Coffee in the maker on the counter by the window. Coffee in the maker on the counter by the window. This song could be the last song. Oh, this song could be the last song. I tell you, this song could be the last song.
Peter, your project before Are You Listening is a book that you wrote called Vlad the Astrophysicist, and it's just fantastic, and that just hit the pavement a couple months ago. Tell us about the origin of that book and how that came to life.
Originally, Vlad the Astrophysicist was a spoken word piece. I made a record called Letters from a Flying Machine that had songs, but it also had letters to my nieces and my nephews, spoken out loud over music. And so one of them was called Vlad the Astrophysicist. That was the one that everyone seemed to really most connect to on that record. Someone made a video of it in the Iron Horse Music Hall over in Northampton, and then that video somehow got put on a Reddit science thread, and it got seen like 250,000 times.
Whoa.
Yeah. And then TED, you know, the TED Talk people, they called me up and asked if I wanted to do one of the satellite events, TEDx Kansas City. And so that is how I found myself standing in front of like 5,000 Kansas Cityans doing Vlad the Astrophysicist. And that went on to get a bunch of views. And then a small publishing house called Blooming Twig called me up and said, you know, we want to make an illustrated book out of this. And as it happens, Peter Nevins, the guy who had done the cover of the record, he was the perfect guy. He does these linoleum cut, I guess they're prints.
Yep.
It's an inch, and then he digitizes that. It's a really cool process.
Beautiful.
Yeah. And so basically he made 14 illustrations, and we turned it into a children's book, and it's all about whether or not there are intelligent civilizations out there other than ours. So until the aliens actually come calling, I think it's a pretty good answer that we've got.
It's great. And, you know, it's after my own heart because my oldest son is a grad student in astrophysics. And so I was happy that you guys were able to share a phone call at one point in time. What was your burning question for Phil, my son?
What was my burning question? The universe is expanding, but it can't be just expanding from where I am. Like, there has to be some center from which it's expanding, and et cetera. And, you know, what I love about this is it takes a special kind of mind. I clearly was not meant to go into astrophysics because I can kind of get it, and then one of the guys who can do the math, so he explained it to me, and there's no way I'm ever going to be able to tell you what he said. I don't have the equipment, you know.
But you got the concept, right?
Yeah. So for a good 40 seconds, I kind of knew that, you know, the answer to that thing, you know. It's crazy.
We used to hate that little we used to beat him up, and when he cried, it made us hate him more. I mean, Jesus, kids are awful, boys especially. We used to taunt him all the way to his screen door. But all of this was just before the war. The little town would get all lit up on a tall summer night. The high school girls, they'd smoke behind the store. And if you could get a car, you could go out and drive around, drive down to the lake, sit down by the shore. All of this was just before the war. all this was. Everything changes, isn't that what they say? But oh, you'll believe it when the world falls away. That little was brave, and it turns out that I wasn't. And you learn what that means and what it doesn't. So now the years go like they go. You rake leaves, you shovel snow. Probably you're no different than before. And the town still gets all lit up on a tall summer night. The light shines down through my window to my floor. And I think about the time before the war. I think about the time
Of your songs, which would you say to you is one of the most lovely? I can tell you which one makes me weepy every time I hear it, but I want to hear what you...
What else was it? What else
song.
was it from Silver Ladder? You know, that's that song. That's about it. You know, if like anyone who needs a good cry, anyone who goes through any kind of turning point in their life, I've got a song that says that closest says the thing that I wish all my songs said.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
And when you wrote that, did you know that was something special?
Oh yeah, yeah. I'll be playing that tune for probably the rest of my life.
But I mean, like the instant it was done, were you like, that one out of the ballpark?
Oh yeah. I mean, that's one of the nice things about writing a lot and having a long career is that they all become a little less special to you, which is a good thing. You know, I mean, it's just work. It's just art.
Yeah.
You know, it's like leaves in a forest. Like, you know, there's a lot of songs.
Yeah.
And some songs are beautiful, and all songs are beautiful, but some songs are more beautiful than others.
Yeah.
But like, is it necessary that we see every leaf in the forest?
Right.
You know, whatever. Some leaves are beautiful. Pick them up while you're walking. Enjoy that.
Yeah.
Okay, what song is it for you?
Rise.
Oh Lord.
It's gorgeous.
Do you know what it's about? Oh man.
It's a loss.
Yeah.
Of man's wife.
Yeah.
And it hits me every time.
Glad
So
to
I
be
try
of
not
use.
to actually over listen to it because then it's still very special. But I think Rise is an absolutely gorgeously written song. I mean, there's like a handful of songs that for my entire life I will see as compellingly beautiful, and that is one of them.
Oh, sweet.
I'm driving up the coastline, it's like living in a painting. And holy shit, I miss my friends who died. Sun falls in the ocean, moon sails over the mountains. I'll take one of each with ice cream on the side. All my little magic tricks were just to draw you closer so that you'd lean in and I could smell your hair. And who shot Saint Sebastian? I always thought that it was Cupid. Now look at that little dude sharpening his spear. Baby, now how does it make you feel? Baby, how do you think it makes you feel? Makes you feel? All your secret's safe with me, babe. If my secret's safe with you, there's no place to stand when there's no higher ground. Well, the day you wake up sad and empty, don't go back to sleep. There's a million ways to kneel and kiss the ground. A million ways. Baby, how does it make you feel? Baby, how do you think it makes you feel? Makes you feel? And now it's you who's driving up the coastline. Every dream you ever had's been vaporized. By that I mean converted from a mist into the ether. So lose the wheel and baby, close your eyes. Baby, how does it make you feel? Baby, how do you think it makes you feel? Baby, how does it make you feel? And baby, how do you think it makes you feel? Makes you feel? Makes you feel? Makes you feel?
Peter, we cannot thank you enough for being here. I know you're so sick, and we are grateful for your diligence, your slugging through, you being a hard laborer, but we get the benefit of your grace and the beauty in the studio here. If we get Peter Mulvey germs, they'll be really cool germs.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Definitely use the hand sanitizer,
will.
because that last part's not true, but I appreciate your having me.
Yeah.
I really do. You ought to think about doing this, like having a show, you know, like doing it on a regular basis, because what you have is like some expertise and then like a love of music. This would be a cool thing to do.
Once in a while.
Yeah, once in a while, exactly.
Well, you were with us way in the beginning. It was probably like our 5th show or 7th show or something like that. It was in our 1st or 2nd year. And,
that was the best show ever, though, at the time.
At the time it was.
Because every show is the best show ever, right?
And we used to play your show many, many times. We actually entered it into a national contest then, and it won. And it was we had a plaque on the wall that said, you know, hometown award winner Peter Mulvey. This was probably 15 years ago or so. But people in town knew who you were.
We did this when we were 5?
We did this when we were 5 years old. We did. But now look how much we've grown, you know. But Peter, thank you, and safe travels, and just take good care of yourself.
I will.
Vitamin C, naps, chicken soup, chicken noodle soup, all of that good stuff.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Peter.
You took a shovel to the basement and you blistered up your hands. You danced all night at the wedding. You stayed up drinking with the band. You made love until the daylight was creeping across the floor. Tell me what else was happening.